Hello everyone, this is Eric Wonderston, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your gradebooks for Albemarle County Public Schools. To begin, select one of your classes, and if you're going to be doing categories at all this year, go over to the A+ grading and select categories. By default, we've already loaded classwork, project, quiz, test, and homework. So if those are the categories you want to use in class, you're fine. I added an additional one called Ignore that you're all going to do to help the gradebook be less confusing for students and families. So if there are any categories you'd like to add, or if you don't have Ignore added yet, go up here to the plus sign, go to category, and if you want this for all of your classes, you can go ahead and select them from this list, or just the classes you want to have those categories. I want this Ignore to be in every class. And I've already created it, so it won't let me, but yours will let you, and you just click Save. Now that your categories are set up, you're going to go to Settings, Traditional Grade Calculations, and by default, your classes are set up to just be total points. And this can be confusing because in Albemarle County, we don't actually average quarter 1 and quarter 2 grades together to get your first term 1 grade. So again, we don't average these two together to get this one. And that's going to be confusing because if a student has a 90 and an 80 for quarter 1 and quarter 2, they're going to think they get an 85 for term 1, but that's not the case. All we do in ACPS is we take term 1, term 2, and average those together to get year 1. So the way we're going to set up the gradebook is going to help everybody avoid like, oh, why aren't my averages matching up? Now, by default, year 1, the county already has term weighting set up for you. So what we want to do is decide how are we going to calculate term 1 and term 2's grades. So go over here to term 1. And if you want to do it by total points, that's fine. If you'd like to do it by category weighting, you can go ahead and add, let's say I'm going to do three categories. So make these all category weight. And I'm going to do test projects, classwork. This will be 50, 40, and 10. So it'll add up to 100%. I also want to make term 2 the same. Add a couple more categories, make them all category weighting. It was 50, 10. That's all that's actually going to be going into your final grade as term 1 and term 2. So to avoid confusion, go to all of your quarters, and we basically just don't want any grade to show up. So we're going to pick the category called Ignore, because we're not actually going to put any grades in the gradebook in that category. So all of quarter 1 will come from this empty category, so all people will see in the gradebook is just a dash and a blank. So go ahead and do that for all your quarters, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make them Ignore 100%. And then once your whole class is set up, instead of having to do this manually for all your other classes, go up to the settings wheel and go to Copy Traditional Grade Calculations. And we want to do it to another class. So select the current year, select the class you were just in, and I want to actually copy the entire year. Now I'm in like a pretend version, so it won't let me, but you'll select the same year, and you'll also select another class from the drop-down, and that's going to allow you to copy it over. And you have to go to Validate, Copy, and there's a couple other steps. But you can also select multiple classes here. So you can check the box for all the other classes you want to be set up the same way. And once you validate it, so again, you're going to validate it, not do what I'm doing, then you'll see that copy to all your other classes. Even if you want to tweak it, that's fine. The main thing that's going to be nice is quarter 3 and quarter 4 and quarter 1 and 2 are going to copy over. And if you need to change how term 1 and term 2 are set up, you can just edit those in your new classes. So you can go in and tweak the category percentages, whatever you need to do. So this is going to be really nice because when you go to look at the grades for your class, and like families and students are going to see it this way, even though I have grades in here, term 1 and term 2 are the only things that show up. And if you average an 80 for term 1 and a 90 for term 2, you get an 85%. So that's what most people are expecting. That makes sense. If we had quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 in here, they would start to get confused because they're not averaging like an 80 and a 90 here wouldn't give you a 85 here. So this is what they'll see. They'll just see these little dashes. Some people have already been using this in previous years, and it may take a little note or letter home to explain this to families, but overall it's way less confusing for them. If you have any questions, please reach out to your LTI, and you also have instructional coaches that can help with grade setups. But if you are working with somebody, make sure you show them this video or the resource that comes with it so that you can actually set it up with no quarter grades. If you have any questions, reach out.